All right, I'm back. Promised I would be. 49ers re-signed Deebo Samuel, reacting instantly to this news. I'm sure a lot of you will be watching here over the next X amount of minutes that we'll be talking, but obviously at long last, this arduous process is nearing its conclusion. It's not finalized yet, according to some sources. This is Matt Barrows reporting for us for The Athletic, and you could see Matt Barrows and I co-wrote a piece. It's right there next to me. The 49ers are still going to finalize some stuff with Deebo Samuel and his representation, led by agent Tory Dandy. So crossing some T's, dotting some I's. The work is expected to be done late into the night. I mentioned a little bit earlier that deadline pressure produces results. Well, it certainly produced and is producing results right now. Remember that the pads come on for the 49ers on Monday, which is tomorrow. So it's late Sunday afternoon right now, 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast. And Deebo's a physical football player, so he wants to be back out there with the pads on, right? That's when the real football starts. So he didn't care that he missed this first week of training camp. Tomorrow, when that action gets dirty out on the field, Deebo Samuel is going to be out there popping some pads. Now, maybe they're going to ease him back into it because he has been off on the side field here for the first four practices, but you get the idea. Deadline pressure was in place for this to get done before tomorrow, and it has indeed gotten done. So I talked a little bit earlier about the details that we do know right now. And what we do know is that Deebo Samuel is signed with the 49ers for 3 years, $71.55 million. That's according to both Schefter and Rappaport. And the details obviously are still being finalized there. So maybe we shouldn't say has signed. Maybe we should just say plans to sign. But essentially, this wouldn't have gotten to Schefter or Rappaport unless it was essentially a done deal agreed upon in principle by both sides, because they're definitely hearing this from both the team and the agents. 23 million APY is the final total. Now, this is moderately interesting because we just weren't sure if Deebo Samuel was going to try to win a vanity show or not. APY means average per year, and there are ways to really artificially inflate average per year. Look at Tyreek Hill's deal, for example. I'm going to open this up. Why don't we just take our time with this show today, because everything is still, in such a all the parts are moving right now, and I don't have everything ready the way that I normally do. So I just want to have Twitter open. I want to react to news. Hopefully, I'm doing you guys a favor by being online during this, talking through it. It'll be kind of like free agency. So I want to bring you the information as it comes. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to open up the wide receiver market, and we're going to take a look at APY because I want to illustrate to you why I thought it was very mature of Deebo Samuel and Tory Dandy to not try to win an API vanity show here. Probably necessary at the end of the day to get this deal done. This three, because the 49ers might not have wanted to sign Deebo Samuel past his age 30 season. What's really interesting to me is that you look at this, it's a 3-year contract, right, for nearly $72 million, whatever it is, total amount of money. That's 3 years on top of Deebo Samuel's rookie deal. So he's already under contract and already was under contract for this 2022 season. He's 26 years old right now, and he turns 27 in January. So they've tacked on 3 years on top of this age 26 season. So they've tacked on age 27, age 28, age 29. That's theoretically the athletic prime for an athlete, right? 27, 28, 29. The 49ers have Deebo within his prime and his prime only. He's going to turn 30 in January of 2026, and that's when that deal expires. So the 49ers will potentially be in a playoff run in the final season of Deebo's contract when he turns 30 years old. Now, I mean, if he goes completely gangbusters over the next couple of years, they might re-sign him, extend him before then, right? But I think that looking back in retrospect now, you saw DK Metcalf get a 3-year deal, 3 years on top of the 1 year that he has left on his rookie contract, or had left on his rookie contract. And now you see Deebo with the 3-year deal. And I think it makes sense. Such a physical player. I think the 49ers want to keep him within his prime, but they don't want to extend him too far, right? Because then you start dealing with oh boy, well, if we guaranteed too much, then, this guy plays a physical brand of football. Is he going to be as effective age 30 plus? I don't know. And the 49ers have bought themselves more time to figure that out. So anyway, APY, let's talk about the APY. 23.9 million APY. Go to wide receivers here. I have to go to position groups, wide receivers. Maybe I could pop this open on the screen as well. There's just so many ads on some of these sites, so I don't want to clutter everything. Yeah, but I could pop this open on the screen. Why the heck not? So anyway, this is the article on Athletic that's up next to me right now. You guys can go ahead and check that out. Boy, I have a mess on my screen. So many different things always seem to happen when news like this breaks. So you got to stay organized. If you want to check out the article on The Athletic that Matt Barrows and I co-wrote, go to the chat section and check out this link. I just put it there, right? Deebo Samuel, 49ers agree on contract extension. So check that out. And now I'm going to pop open the over-the-cap look at the fully guaranteed money. So we're going to put that up on the screen. And there it is. Okay, so maybe you could see this, maybe you can't. But there's a difference between total guaranteed money and fully guaranteed money. I'm sorting by total guaranteed money. Total guaranteed money, Cooper Kupp is at the top of the list with 75 million. Tyreek Hill, 72.2 million. Stephon Diggs, 70 million. Devontae Adams, 65.7. Michael Thomas rounds out the top 5 at 60.9 or 70 million. Amari Cooper, 60. DK, 58.2. And Deebo is going to be 58.1. So he's like 8 or 9. But fully guaranteed money is the much bigger deal. Total guaranteed money only starts to matter if a guy gets hurt. And we don't know if Deebo Samuel is going to get hurt. I'm not going to anticipate that he's going to get hurt. I actually think he's a durable player, especially given his style of play. It's the fully guaranteed money that the team is going to be on the hook for, regardless of what happens moving forward. And something in A.J. Brown's deal kicked in later to set this up to 56. But for all intents and purposes, A.J. Brown signed at 40 million. So I don't know why this list is the way that it is, but A.J. Brown had 40 million fully guaranteed. So here, I'll just scroll down so we can see the true leader at the top at signing was Tyreek Hill, 52.5 million. Stephon Diggs, 48. DeAndre Hopkins, nearly 43. DJ Moore, 41. Mike Williams, 40. And then DK Metcalf all the way down to 31. It was always going to take more than the amount for DK. And A.J. Brown, same agent as Deebo Samuel and DK, Tory Dandy, he had 40 million. AJ did. So I've long predicted somewhere between 40 and 50 million fully guaranteed for Deebo Samuel on this new contract. Now we'll see if I'm right, but all indications are that I will be in this case, because if it's going to be more than AJ, then it's got to be more than 40 million. And I don't think it's going to be more than Tyreek, who led all receivers at 52. So the fully guaranteed money is what really matters. And that's why it's so tough to report on this, because everybody confuses total guarantees with full guarantees. And we just can't do that, right? Because those mean two very, very different things. So that's still something that we're waiting for, are the full guarantees right now. But we do know that Deebo has 58.1 million in total guarantees, and we'll wait to find some more stuff out. I also, in this article here, we should refresh this. Get this piece. This is the co-piece written by Matt Barrows and me. Again, chat section. You could go check that out. That has a lot of the up-to-date analysis from Matt Barrows and me. We're working hard on Sunday to bring you guys the update on Deebo Samuel. I would like to share one more piece with you here, if I could find it, about Deebo Samuel's value to the 49ers. Just how valuable is Deebo Samuel to the 49ers? That's what the title is. I wrote this back in April when all of this stuff was going down. And I'm going to go ahead and toss it up on the screen right now. Man, my computer is lagging on me right now. There it is. Just how valuable is Deebo Samuel to the 49ers? First of all, why don't we go back right now, and why don't I put up a new banner? Well, this one right here, Deebo drama over. Well, why don't we just spend some time and talk about how wrong the social media reporting cycle was yet again. And this is something I tried to say during the whole process. Oh, you're a homer because you actually look at things realistically. Yeah, it's not that hard to look at stuff realistically. But again, playing calm, playing rational throughout this whole process was correct, right? When Deebo Samuel scrubbed his social media, I said this is a tactic by his agent. He has no leverage over the 49ers. When Deebo Samuel requested a trade, I said if the 49ers want to keep him, they'll keep him because Deebo wants to get paid. And the 49ers think that he's valuable to them. And I'm going to talk about how valuable to them he is here in a second. But if they want to keep him, they can keep him. Deebo didn't get to decide where he was going to go. And I don't think Deebo ever wanted to leave the 49ers. I think that Tory Dandy, his agent, created a lot of bluster to see if the 49ers would panic, and they didn't panic. Now, he did the same. Because how do I know this? Because he employed the same tactics with his other clients. He created a lot of bluster with A.J. Brown, who deleted his social media while it was with the Titans. That created some movement, obviously. Brown got traded from the Titans to the Eagles, and Brown got paid. Good job. Tory got to pat Tory Dandy on the back. He got his client paid. That's the goal for any agent with his client. So he got his client paid. DK Metcalf, there was a lot of bluster with him in Seattle. He got paid as well. But both Seattle and the 49ers stayed the course with their respective receivers drafted in 2019. DK Metcalf up in Seattle and Deebo Samuel for the 49ers. And the 49ers didn't knee-jerk their way into a premature deal that would have overpaid Deebo Samuel. They knew that the wide receiver market was red hot at the start of the offseason. And here's why it was red hot. I'm going to put this down in writing so you guys can kind of have a chuckle. Wide receiver market was red hot because it was all Christian Kirk's fault. Remember when Christian Kirk signed for what, 17 or 18 million per year with Jacksonville? Christian Kirk, of all players. I mean, he's not a star receiver, but he set this market into overdrive by signing a deal that just a few years ago would have been at the very top of the market for wide receivers. So you saw Christian Kirk sign for 17 or 18 million per year. And then not too long after that, you saw Tyreek Hill sign for the record. He became the first non-QB to be at 30 million per year. But I said I was going to talk about Tyreek Hill's funny money, and we'll do that right now. Why don't we open this up? Let's go to Tyreek Hill's contract on Over the Cap. Here we go. Here's Tyreek Hill's deal. So it's 30 million per year, right? So you saw the market explode for Tyreek Hill, but look how we get the 30 million per year. It goes, base salary is only 1 point is the minimum this year. In the final 2 years of his deal, especially in the final year of his deal, Tyreek Hill's a $43.9 million base salary. None of that's guaranteed. They don't have to pay that until, they actually get to that season. So there's a really high chance that Tyreek Hill is not going to play for $43.9 million. The Dolphins can get out of that in 2026. But what that does is it artificially raises the average per year to 30 million. Deebo doesn't have that kind of fluff in his contract. His is going to be 23.9 million average per year. And he doesn't have a year 5 with $45 million of funny money on it. So anyway, I digress. Back to talking about Deebo Samuel and how this whole offseason went. So, Tyreek Hill signs that deal. It was all Christian Kirk's fault to start everything. Then Tyreek Hill signs his. Then all these other receivers signing theirs. And Tory Dandy has these 3 receivers. This was a unique situation in which Tory Dandy, agent, was representing 3 guys in one offseason. He also represented Hollywood Brown, who got traded. But he was representing DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, and Deebo Samuel. All 3 of these guys had been drafted in 2019. So all 3 had played 3 years already in the NFL, meaning they were eligible for a new deal, but didn't necessarily need to have one to stay with their current teams, right? 1 year left on the rookie deal, but eligible for a new one. So you have a red hot receiver market in the same offseason that the same agent has 3 of these receivers in his business. So you combine those 2 and you could see that the ingredients for a perfect storm were there. And Tory Dandy said, well, this market's exploding. I want to go get my clients as much money as possible. So how do you get your clients as much money as possible when you don't quite have leverage because these 3 guys are still under contract, their rookie deals with their respective teams? You go out and create some chaos. You put some pressure on these teams through the avenues through which you can put pressure on them. So for Tory Dandy and Deebo Samuel, it was the social media scrub. A.J. Brown did the same thing. It was an actual trade request, Deebo Samuel to the 49ers. And you saw with A.J. Brown, the tactics actually worked. He was traded and he got his money really quickly. He went to the Philadelphia Eagles, who paid him 4 years, $100 million. With the 49ers, well, they were like, no, Deebo's too valuable for us. We're not going to indulge this trade request. We know that we have the power in this situation, and we'll sit back, let the market settle down a bit, let that market even out. And once that market does level up, then we could sign Deebo Samuel. Our deadline pressure, the 49ers said, will produce results. John Lynch actually even said those exact words several times, including a few days ago. And now they have power to cross, or about to power across the finish line. So that's how this operated. The reason that this did get crazy was because of the agent situation. But Tory Dandy was doing his job. The 49ers were doing theirs. And now Deebo Samuel can do his. He has signed with the 49ers 3 years, $71.6 million. We are still waiting on fully guaranteed money amounts. Nick Bosa, I guess, has just posted. Yeah, Nick Bosa has posted alongside Deebo Samuel. Why don't we put this up on the screen really quickly? There you go. That's what Nick Bosa just posted on Instagram. Coach Yak on Twitter. Got to give him credit. He does a good job. He's a good follow, Coach Yak on Twitter. Shout out to him. That's I don't know if they're counting money. I think those are like cards or something they have in their hands. But I think Nick Bosa is implying that it is money. Anyway, I will go back to here. Let's talk about how valuable Deebo Samuel is to the 49ers. As a wide receiver, check this out. Blue is good, red is bad. Yards per route run is a great measurement for wide receiver efficiency. Deebo Samuel was number 2 behind only Cooper Kupp. This is just pure wide receiver. This is not factoring in running back. It's a bunch of crap that people tell you Deebo Samuel's not a good pure wide receiver. No, he's a good pure wide receiver. He's ahead of Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson in this metric. Now, his drop rate's really high, 12.1%. But Deebo Samuel attains receiving efficiency through another avenue. That's yards after the catch. The 10.8 yards after the catch that Deebo Samuel racked up last year is the highest number on record by far. And the record goes back nearly 2 decades. We saw history with Deebo Samuel last season. No receiver has ever racked up that type of yards after the catch. And also no receiver, including the playoffs here, no player has ever amassed 1,500 receiving yards and 500 rushing yards in a single season. And that's what Deebo Samuel did. So what we saw last season was historic. The guy deserved to get paid. And it was unconventional. Normally, a receiver doesn't end up with top-level efficiency with a 12% drop rate. But Deebo Samuel did, because he's an absolute monster after the catch. And that helped set a tone and a mentality for the 49ers. Now, you scroll further down, this is running back efficiency. Blue is good, red is bad. Deebo Samuel was arguably the most efficient running back in football last year. So second most efficient receiver, top running back, top by elusive rating, PFF. Then you have rushing yards over expectation. He's right up there with a guy like Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, just a complete stud. Dominating both facets of the game. So, the money numbers here. The 49ers, all plays that Deebo Samuel was on the field, 0.09 EPA per play, expected points added. When he was off the field, only 0.02. That's over 4x as efficient with Deebo Samuel than without him. So it gives you a really good idea of how valuable he was to the 49ers. And the components of that value are his top-level rushing efficiency and his top-level receiving efficiency. In fact, if you guys want to watch me work, that's probably something I should tweet right now. And take a screenshot here. Like I said, this is going to be an unconventional show. I'll be working a little bit during the show, so you cannot fault me for that. Everybody subscribe to the channel, like the video while you're here. Man, there's so many windows open. This is crazy. Got to close a couple of these. Yeah, you guys can take a look at that. I'm not looking at questions right now, so you guys can argue amongst yourselves in the chat section. But what I'm doing is I am doing reporting while I'm on YouTube Live. I'll look at questions in a little bit. You guys just have to wait. Once we get over 500 concurrent viewers, that's when I'm going to answer questions. We're at 364 right now, so let's get a few more. Mike tweets, y'all remember fans burning Deebo's jersey months ago? The reactionary nature of people was insane throughout this. And it was like, guys, the whole time, calm down. They're going to get a deal done. They both sides have every incentive to. This is just another great cautionary tale of just wait it out. Everything is going to be okay. And we've had so many of those because social media likes to go so far off the reservation on both sides of issues, either panicking or being way too optimistic about something. The panicking gets more clicks, so people do that more often. But it was no time to panic with Deebo Samuel just because the actual contractual dynamics of the whole situation. All right, so this is me working right now. If I could find my screenshot, I'm going to put up a tweet. There it is. Here we go. There's a false narrative out there that Deebo Samuel isn't top tier, pure wide receiver. Well, Deebo was the second most efficient pure wide receiver in football last season. He just reached efficiency in an unconventional way. Oh my God, did I just erase my own writing? You guys just watch me screw up. God. So type. Oh no, it's there. My computer's just being really, really weird right now. I think it's just an overload of stuff. He just reached top level wide receiver efficiency in an unconventional way. The highest yak per catch ever. That overcame a 12% drop rate. I have to get this one character shorter. Crazy. I did it. Awesome. All right. We're tweeting. It's out there. The world can see it. The world can see what you're looking at on your screen right now on Twitter. So I said there's a false narrative out there that Deebo Samuel isn't a top tier pure wide receiver. Well, Deebo is the second most efficient pure wide receiver in football last season. He just reached top level wide receiver efficiency in an unconventional way. He had the highest yards after the catch per catch ever. That overcame a 12% drop rate. So he's an unconventional talent, but I would argue that this unconventional talent is exactly what the 49ers want. They want to zag while other teams are zigging. They want to be the team that's out there knocking mouth guards out while defenses are downsizing. Deebo Samuel is a philosophy. Deebo Samuel is an identity. The way that he plays is different than other wide receivers, just like the 49ers want to play a different brand of football than all other offenses in the league so they can have a comparative advantage over the NFL. That is the Kyle Shanahan MO, and that's why Deebo Samuel was so important to the 49ers. All right, I want to go down to let's get the wide receiver. Let's get the running back numbers. Okay, so now we have the running back numbers up on the screen. So we're going to tweet these out to the world too. The world is going to see what type of running back Deebo Samuel is. Meanwhile, I need to stay appraised of what's going on Twitter. There is just so much potentially happening right now that I want to be ready. Don't see anything new yet. Okay, so you see the running back numbers, and you have Deebo's, first of all, that first column, 6.1 yards per carry. That's, way higher than other backs on there. But, okay, I get it. Sometimes teams are going to be caught off guard. Deebo does run some plays, I think, that other backs don't get, some of the sweeps that might inflate that number. Fine. So we go to rushing yards over expectation, some more advanced measurements to just chart how effective he might be at running back. And, Tej Seth, football analyst, I believe he goes to MIT, really smart guy. His rushing yards over expectation number as Deebo at 0.71 yards per carry. So he's getting 0.71 yards more per carry than the average back would get under the same parameters, distance of a defender and all that. That's insane. It's a lot. I mean, the only two better backs in that regard were Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Jones, and we both know they're really good players. Next Gen Stats does the same thing, rushing yards over expectation. They have a different formula. Unfortunately, Deebo didn't have enough carries to qualify there. Elusive rating, that comes from PFF. It's a bunch of different factors to see just how many tackles a guy like Deebo's breaking, and he led the whole NFL there. So we're going to go back to the Twitter machine, and we're going to tell people about Deebo Samuel, the running back. So we're going to click here, media. We're going to find the screenshot that I just took a couple minutes ago. And we're going to say at least one metric suggests that Deebo Samuel was the best running back in football last season. On top of his number 2 wide receiver efficiency, at least one advanced metric suggests that Deebo Samuel was the best running back in football last season. So through my past 2 tweets, here, let's see. So I hope my past 2 tweets have illustrated. Got to use that present perfect. Just how exceptional of a player Samuel is. Remember, no one had ever rushed, had ever amassed 1,500 receiving and 500 rushing yards until Deebo. All right, I am 26 characters over, so I got to shorten this. Top of his number 2 wide receiver efficiency, at least one advanced metric suggests Deebo was the best running back in NFL into the football last season. I hope my past 2 tweets have illustrated just how exceptional the player Samuel is. Remember, no one had ever amassed 1,500 receiving yards and 500 rushing yards until Deebo. I have one more character to get rid of. It's tough. Oh, I got rid of it. Beautiful. All right, we're sending it out to the world. It's out there. The internet knows about Deebo Samuel now, if they didn't before. I'm pretty sure they knew before, so pretty sure that didn't do anything. Time for a drink of water. The 4x efficiency is another thing to illustrate. So big night for the 49ers. Pads do come on tomorrow. Those of you just coming in, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We got content just flowing in. So much content over the past few days. I mean, again, we're talking about content. You just go to The Athletic, subscribe. I mean, this is the piece that Matt Barrows and I have up there. I'm going to put it back in the chat section. We had probably the most instant analysis that there could have been. That's the piece. So you can go ahead and analyze and read along with us. As far as other stuff you need to do, subscribe to The Athletic. That's your main homework, and subscribe to this channel. We are nearing another milestone, and this season's just getting started. It's getting more and more fun the more we progress. Obviously, Deebo Samuel re-signing, big news for the 49ers. Pads come on tomorrow, huge news for the 49ers. Training camp underway. We're talking a lot about Trey Lance. It's very rewarding to do this, to bring you this news, to analyze this as it happens. So please do subscribe to the channel as it comes. Good for Deebo. Can't believe our fan base treated him the way that we did, says Jason. I can. I mean, it's wild to see. I mean, it's just the nature of modern times, social media, overreactions, the rush for clicks. If you're dramatic, you get clicks. But I've noticed that I get clicks and viewers if I'm just rational. I sit here and I explain things. It might take a little bit longer, but that's fine with me. You just you at the end of the day, all that you have is your credibility. So you just got to go out there and, everybody who tries to go out and post right away about something, it just turns into this violent ebb and flow. It doesn't have to be that way. You could stay calm, stay centered. And in this case, I think that was the right way to look at it. Does he really only want to be used as purely a wide receiver? I doubt it. I think Kyle Shanahan even intimated the other day that is not the case. I think Deebo Samuel is a football player. I mean, he was marketing wide back T-shirts long before this whole, not even that much before this whole contractual drama started. So again, this was agent-driven bluster to try to get Deebo the best deal possible, because the agent, Tory Dandy, did the same thing with A.J. Brown. He ended up being traded from the Titans to the Eagles. He got his money. Same thing with DK Metcalf, who got paid just a couple days ago. So, no, I think Deebo Samuel wants to be a football player, and I'd be shocked if anything different came out of that portion of this news. AJ Brown tweeted 25 minutes ago. Basically, all four of us got the same contract, and only one got traded. Yeah, keep believing it was me. Anywho, go Birds. # carry on. Well, yeah, so AJ Brown just basically said it was the agent. It was Tory Dandy. They all got the same oh, and who's the fourth? Hollywood Brown? Hollywood Brown didn't get the same contract. I think he means all three of us. Yeah, so at the end of the day, John Lynch was right? At the end of the day, John Lynch said that it was going to be hard to sign Deebo Samuel first. And I think that's my next tweet. Remember back to what John Lynch said at the NFL Combine. It would be hard for the 49ers to sign Deebo before A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, because all three shared the same agent, and Deebo was coming off such an unprecedented year. Lynch was 100% right. Precedent. AJ DK was necessary. Okay, remember back to what John Lynch said at the Combine. It'd be hard for the 49ers to sign Deebo before AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, because all three shared the same agent, and Deebo was coming off such an unprecedented year. Lynch was 100% right. The precedent of AJ and DK was necessary for this deal. Don Graziano from ESPN, by the way, tweets, per sources, Deshaun Watson and the NFL did engage in further settlement talks in recent days, but neither side felt that they got close. The best Watson side indicated it would accept was 6 to 8 games. The best the league indicated it was willing to do was 12 plus games with a heavy fine. That's going to be really interesting to see what the actual adjudication is tomorrow for Deshaun Watson, because that might actually influence whether or not the Browns are interested in Jimmy Garoppolo. One thing that I have to say, and this is a I told you so kind of thing. The 49ers could re-sign Deebo Samuel with Jimmy Garoppolo still on the books. Now, we don't know yet what the new salary cap hit for Deebo Samuel is. We won't until this contract is fully finalized, probably at some point later tonight. But so many people, oh my God, Jimmy Garoppolo's contract is stalling the 49ers from being able to re-sign Deebo Samuel. How are they going to do this? This is terrible business. It's like, gosh, no. Be quiet, everybody. Like, calm down. Again, if you look at the actual finances of how backloading and cap hits work, the 49ers didn't need any extra 2022 space to re-sign Deebo Samuel. I guarantee you this deal is going to be backloaded. And I guarantee you they're going to be able to fit this one in with a cap hit that's not that much bigger than it initially was under Deebo Samuel's rookie contract. Remember that Fred Warner, his cap hit didn't get any bigger from rookie deal to record-breaking extension last season. Well, it's going to be the same thing for Deebo Samuel. It might get a little bit bigger. Probably will, because it's only 3 years, not 5 or whatever. But still, I'll analyze the hell out of this deal once we have the actual numbers, probably at some point this week. I would almost be certain that it would be at some point this week. But the truth is that the 49ers did not need to jettison Jimmy Garoppolo to fit Deebo Samuel. And please don't forget all the people that told you that they did need to do that. That's how much misinformation there is going around out there. So anyway, all I have to say is subscribe to The Athletic, subscribe to this channel if you want to hear about how stuff actually operates within the 49ers building. Hell yeah, appreciate you, man. Hopefully the shout out I gave you a little bit earlier send some people your way. Yeah, this is sad with Bill Russell dying today. Icon, 88 years old. If Ayuk balls out like Samuel did last year, will the Niners run into a similar situation? Well, hey, let me tell you what, that's a problem they would love to have, wouldn't it? They'd love to have that. These are the issues that you want. Now, here's the thing, and this is going to be my next tweet. Let's put it this way. The 49ers, with the potential Jimmy Garoppolo savings, the 49ers build their team with a very specific formula. They have not been afraid to reward their own, right? They've handed out a record number of record extensions over the course of the past 6 years, as Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been there. So that they've signed players to massive money, right? And they've broken positional records several times. This Deebo Samuel deal won't break a record, but it's going to be well on the way to being near the top of the market. So the 49ers haven't been afraid to pay guys. They've been very able to pay guys. They haven't been afraid to pay these players. As they've done that, they obviously have started to run a little short on cap room. So that's why drafting well is so important, because the draft is the cost-controlled way of building a football roster. So as the 49ers have kind of progressed through this whole team building process, the cap has grown, but so has their budget. Now the cap is about to explode, right? But it's still, if the 49ers have more and more players to pay, if they draft well enough and more guys need big contracts like Brandon Ayuk, that was just, asked a few seconds ago, then they're going to need to hoard as much cap space as they can get. So that's one reason why they turned the page from Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Because that's going to free up money that they can add to the pile of money that's going to be freeing up cap-wise with this new TV deal that hits $100 billion plus hitting the NFL. That's going to split into new cap space for all the teams. We're going to see cap inflation, and the 49ers will be able to grow their star core of players they play, their star core of players that they pay, so that they can continue building this thing into infinite years, however many years they need to build this franchise. And of course, they want to keep this sustainable, keep this going forever. So good question on Ayuk. The 49ers would love to run into that problem next season. Let's get some Deebo Samuel headlines up on here. You guys have any questions? 31 subs until 16,000. I know there's a lot of you watching right now who haven't subscribed yet. This is a nice big show about Deebo Samuel. I'm laboring on a Sunday, so hit that sub button. We could be at 16,000 within 30 seconds. If you guys just hit that button, that'd be a lot of fun. Please do so. Yeah, I know. I apologize about that. I think when it gets darker in here, the software that I use just doesn't like the lighting or something. I'll try to stay still, get my mouth not blur out, but doing my best. He's a top 5 football player to me, and that's all that matters. asking this. Yes, and the efficiency says that he was a top 5 receiver last year. He's not a conventional receiver, though. He's not going to have a low drop rate. He's not going to be running, a lot of the man-beating routes that we're used to seeing. That's more of Ayuk's job on the 49ers. He's going to run over people. He's going to catch the ball and destroy guys. And not a lot of receivers do that. Other top receivers don't do that. So just because Deebo is different doesn't mean that he's not great, right? And on top of that, he's such a valuable weapon in the context of Kyle Shanahan's offense. So this offense has redefined the rules of how this all works. So to me, he's a top 5 football player, and that's what matters. If they stay healthy, maybe. Trey Lance now's got some weapons. And I mean, he had the weapons before, but now Deebo's going to be suiting up at practice, and that's going to be big. This is my first time catching you live. How do I get notifications for it? If I didn't search YouTube, I wouldn't have known you were on. Awesome. Thanks, Marcus. Well, I'm glad you found me. I think you could hit a notification button. It's a little bell. Everybody can do that right now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button. And I hope everybody else finds out about the channel as well. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. There's a piece just right there that Matt Barrows and I wrote as far as analysis of this Deebo Samuel situation. One more time to the chat section. The link to that piece is there. Yes, Deebo Samuel's with the 49ers for 4 more seasons. Again, he's going to be with the 49ers until age 30. So they have him through his prime right now, which is really big. Deebo must be happy. The 49ers did negotiate nicely. Yeah, turn the bell on next to the subscribe button if you don't want to miss these shows. All right, I'm going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. So any last questions, any last bits of information, please come through with them. Been on for nearly 45 minutes, and I want to go send off a nice little tweet storm of stuff as well. And I know you guys like watching while I'm tweeting, but I don't want to bore you too much. So just how valuable is Deebo Samuel to the 49ers? That's another good piece. You could check that one out. I put this one into the chat section as well. Lance contract when Deebo goes. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, check that out. Somebody asked about Bosa. Nick Bosa probably won't sign until next year. John Lynch came out and said that. Joey Bosa didn't sign until year 4. Nick Bosa's brother is probably going to do stuff in a similar fashion. And hey, maybe it gets completed during the season. Yeah, it's possible, but it's likely not going to happen until the next cycle. 16 subs, still 16K. Let's get this past the finish line. I love it. Do I think the 49ers offense changes much with the loss of Mike McDaniel to the Miami Dolphins? Yeah, I think it changes a little bit because I think they're going to a little bit more of a downhill power running game instead of purely speed outside zone. They've got heavier backs now. Anthony Lynn likes to mix in some inside zone. I don't think it changes all too much. But, I mean, there have to be changes. The entire offensive staff, minus the offensive line coach, is new, and so is the quarterback in Trey Lance. But you still want to do the bread and butter that got you here if you're the 49ers. Yes, it's too early to panic over the defensive tackle position. Don't panic over the 49ers defensive line. You know they're going to be fine. These guys are studs. Chris Kasarik is a stud. No, it doesn't negate the last year. He's under contract for 4 more seasons. He's going to get paid differently because of the signing bonus, but it's going to be a little bit different. Is there any new stuff out on the Deebo Samuel numbers? I'm going to check before I sign off here. Doesn't look like it. So I'm going to go and recap some of the stuff for those of you who just joined, and then I'm going to sign off, okay? Let's go through this one more time. Just want to be on top of everything. So Deebo Samuel signs with the 49ers, 3 years, $71.5 million. That's $23.9 million APY. That means that he wasn't in this for a vanity contest, which I think is significant because remember when Deebo's friend said $25 million or we're not talking, well, that's part of the past. Funny money is funny money. Tyreek signed for funny money. Deebo didn't do that. I commend Deebo. I commend Tory Dandy for that. They showed that guaranteed money meant more to them. Now, we don't know the fully guaranteed money yet. That's something we're going to have to wait to find out. My prediction has been throughout this whole thing between 40 and 50 million, somewhere in that range. It looks like that's where it's going to end up because the total guarantees are at 58.1 million. Deadline pressure did indeed produce results. The 49ers could re-sign Deebo, wouldn't you know it, with Jimmy Garoppolo still on the books. Told you so there. And pads do come on tomorrow on Monday. So it's going to be a big day at training camp. You know me, I post all those training camp highlight videos. So I hope that you guys are ready for all of that good stuff to hit the wire tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of training camp highlights in cinematic mode right here on the channel. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Deebo Samuel has re-signed with the 49ers. No days off from work, because the 49ers are just so fun to cover. And hopefully you find them so fun to watch through this YouTube channel. Sub to the Athletics, sub to the channel. Talk to you guys all soon. Everybody have a great Sunday evening.